gaming lore for sleep. Tonight, we journey to the peaceful, rolling hills of Hyrule, a land of ancient legend and quiet courage. We will explore the timeless story of Link, the humble hero whose spirit is woven into the very fabric of this kingdom. So find a comfortable position and let the weight of the day begin to fade away. Allow your breathing to slow and just listen to the sound of my voice. We'll begin with the creation of the world itself, a gentle story of how the golden goddesses shaped the land and set in motion a cycle of light, shadow, and a hero's quiet courage. So close your eyes now and let yourself drift into the lore. Chapter 1: The Whispering Dawn of the World. In the profound and silent eternity before memory, there was only a great, formless chaos, a canvas of swirling mists and nebulous potential where stars were yet to be dreamed of. Then, from the vastness of a nameless heaven, came a warmth, a presence, 3 golden lights descending into the void. They were the goddesses. Din, with a presence that radiated immense, creative power, whose dancing flames forged the continents from the formless clay. With every movement, her energy seeped into the stone, creating vast, rust-colored canyons that echoed with a deep, primordial heat, and raising mountains that would one day cradle the clouds. The very ground you walk upon, the solid, reassuring earth, was the first verse in her song of creation. Then a gentle, luminous blue light settled over the raw, fiery world. This was Nehru, her spirit a boundless well of wisdom and order. Where Din had provided the substance, Nehru gifted it with meaning. She whispered the first laws into the winds, the gentle, unwavering pull of the moon upon the tides, the predictable journey of the sun across the sky, and the slow, beautiful turn of the seasons from the blush of spring to the deep slumber of winter. Her voice became the soft rush of rivers carving their paths, and the rustle of leaves in the first forests, bringing a sacred rhythm to the silence, a logic to the light. Finally, a brilliant, verdant green light, Faror, bloomed within the now-ordered world. She was the spirit of all life, her heart beating with boundless courage. From her essence, the seeds of the great emerald forests took root, their canopies reaching for the heavens. She breathed soul into the world, the playful otter in the river, the majestic eagle soaring on the thermals, the humble beetle pushing through the undergrowth. Every creature, great and small, carried a spark of her courageous spirit, and her greatest creation was the potential for a hero, a resilient spirit that would endure, a quiet promise that courage would always bloom in the face of shadow. Their cosmic work complete, the golden goddesses ascended, their forms fatting into the distant stars they had hung in the firmament. But at the point of their departure, they left behind a single, perfect symbol of their unity, the Triforce, a sacred golden triangle that glowed with the concentrated essence of power, wisdom, and courage. It pulsed with a gentle, ethereal light, a silent wish-granter waiting in a hallowed realm of golden clouds and endless peace, a test and a hope for the mortal world now stirring to life below. For eons, this fledgling world named Hyrule flourished under the watchful grace of the goddess Hylia, a divine guardian chosen to protect the Triforce. But a cataclysm stirred, a demon king of pure hatred known as Demise, whose sole desire was to claim the golden power and drown all of creation in an unending nightmare. A war of such magnitude erupted that it scarred the heavens and cracked the earth. A battle of blinding light against consuming darkness that threatened to unmake the beautiful world the goddesses had sung into being. To ensure a future for her people, Hylia made the ultimate sacrifice. She willingly bound her divine soul to the mortal cycle, being reborn as a child of the very earth she vowed to protect. She became the first in a timeless lineage of princesses bearing the sacred blood and the name Zelda. And for the spirit of courage that Faror had planted, she wove a destiny, a chosen warrior, a soul bound to the land itself, who would awaken from the humblest of origins whenever the darkness gathered. This was the origin of the eternal hero, a boy named Link, whose quiet heart was destined to carry the hopes of the world. Chapter 2: The Humble Seed of Courage. The one who carries the spirit of the hero is never born in a palace of marble and gold. You will find him in the quiet, sun-dappled corners of the world. Perhaps he is a young apprentice in a sleepy village, the scent of forge fire and pine on his clothes, or a boy living in a simple cottage on a windswept coast, lulled to sleep by the rhythmic crash of waves on the shore. He is a child of the soil and the sky, connected to the simple, honest rhythms of life, the feeling of cool grass underfoot, the taste of wild berries, the sound of a gentle rainfall on a wooden roof. There is no crown upon his head, only a natural kindness in his eyes and a courage that sleeps deep within, like a seed waiting in the dark, fertile earth. This peaceful existence is always shattered by a creeping, purple shadow. Often, it is the resurgence of Ganondorf, the king of thieves, a sorcerer whose heart is a bottomless well of ambition and malice. His power blights the land, poisoning the rivers, shrouding the sun in a perpetual, sickly twilight, and seeding fear into the hearts of the people. It is in this gathering gloom that the spark within the boy is fanned into a flame. A desperate plea, the loss of a dear friend, or the haunting vision of a princess in peril becomes the first, hesitant step on a path he was always meant to walk. The comfortable familiarity of home falls away, replaced by the vast, uncertain map of a world in need. He is never truly alone on this path. Whispers from ancient stones guide him, the soft, glowing form of a fairy, or the wise, sometimes cryptic, advice of a magical companion lights his way. The unwavering faith of Princess Zelda, a beacon of light in the darkness, lends strength to his resolve. His journey leads him into the deep, sacred silence of lost woods, where sunlight filters through emerald leaves in shifting patterns, and into the fiery, rumbling heart of volcanoes, where the very air smells of sulfur and stone. He navigates the intricate, water-slicked puzzles of ancient Sora monuments and the shifting, sand-blown tombs of the desert, each trial tempering his spirit, forging the gentle boy into a resolute protector. The most profound moment in his transformation is his encounter with the Master Sword, the legendary blade of Evil's Bane. It rests in a secluded, hallowed grove, bathed in a perpetual, soft twilight, its blue steel blade plunged deep into a moss-covered pedestal. The sword does not test muscle, but metal. It whispers to the spirit, seeking a heart untainted by greed or fear, a courage that is selfless and pure. When Link's hands close around the worn leather of the hilt, and he draws the blade with a clear, ringing sound that echoes through the forest, he is not just claiming a weapon. He is accepting a mantle of immense weight, becoming the chosen hero, the living embodiment of Farore's promise. Thus armed with the sacred blade, Link becomes a wanderer, a quiet force of restoration across the wounded breadth of Hyrule. He walks through villages shadowed by fear, his presence a quiet reassurance. He helps the small Koroks find their lost friends and aids the great, scaled Gorons in securing their mountainous home. He is a hero not of grand speeches, but of silent, meaningful actions, returning a precious heirloom, healing a poisoned spring, playing a melody on his ocarina that calls forth the sun and banishes the storm. His legend is woven not in tapestries, but in the restored laughter of children and the grateful sighs of a people reclaiming their peace. The final confrontation is a storm of clashing destinies. Within the throne room of a corrupted castle, its banners torn and windows shattered, or in a distorted dimension of pure malice, Link stands before the source of all sorrow. Ganondorf, a figure of immense and terrible power, wields magic that crackles the air and bends reality. But against him stands the unyielding spirit of the hero, a calm center in the maelstrom. The battle is not won by strength alone, but by the culmination of every lesson learned, every friendship forged, every act of kindness along the way. With the Master Sword blazing with a pure, white light, Link strikes down the evil, the darkness screaming as it is banished. The long night ends, and the first golden rays of dawn break over the horizon, warm and gentle on the face of the world. Chapter 3: The Weaving of Time and Twilight. The destiny of the hero is a river that flows through the ages, its course altering with the landscape of time itself. In one stream of history, a young Link, after a failure in his childhood, is pulled into a temporal wake, awakening 7 years later to a Hyrule he barely recognizes, a world choked by weeds of despair, his once vibrant home a haunted, silent shell. He is a ghost in his own life, witnessing the consequences of a past he could not prevent, and must use the hard-won wisdom of a future he has not yet lived to heal the wounds of time. A solitary guardian, mending the torn fabric of history in another great saga The hero is not a land-bound knight, but a boy of the great, boundless ocean. The legendary kingdom of Hyrule is nothing but a myth, a story sung in his grandmother's lullabies, its proud peaks now sleeping beneath a vast, blue expanse. When his sister is taken, he raises a simple, white sail on a small, wooden boat, the endless horizon his only guide. His journey becomes a pilgrimage to awaken the gods of the waves, to prove his courage not in castles, but in the belly of a great fish and the heart of a forgotten fortress, ultimately uncovering the tragic, beautiful truth of a world drowned to save itself. A different, more somber trial awaits another incarnation of the hero, as a strange, murky twilight descends upon Hyrule, leaching the color and warmth from the world. In this story, Link is transformed into a lone, blue-eyed wolf, a beast forced to perceive the world through primal senses of scent and sound. He is guided by the impish Midna, a sharp-tongued yet wounded ruler of the Twilight Realm. Through her, he sees the true infection, the tangible sorrow and terror of the people, manifest as shadowy creatures clinging to their souls. His quest is one of purification, of using his newfound senses to hunt the shadows and restore light and color. A journey that forges a bond stronger than any magic, transcending the very boundaries between light and shadow. Through all these trials, across every era and timeline, one bond remains constant and true: his deep, fated connection with Princess Zelda. She is his guide and his equal, the other half of a sacred balance, where he is the swift, decisive stroke of the sword. She is the patient, enduring strength of the shield. In some lives, she fights beside him, a bow of pure light in her hands. In others, she holds back the darkness from her throne room through sheer force of will, her spirit a lighthouse in the storm. Their souls are twin pillars supporting the weight of the kingdom, and their trust in one another is the unshakable foundation upon which every victory is built. Yet the path of the hero is often paved with quiet, personal sacrifice. To protect the flow of time, he may have to play a melody that severs his connection to a beloved friend, watching them fade into the past. To ensure the future of the kingdom, he may set sail on an endless ocean, leaving his home and his childhood behind forever. The triumph of saving the world is often tinged with the bittersweet ache of loss, a solitary weight that settles in his heart long after the celebrations have faded. He wins peace for all, but carries the memory of what it cost him as a quiet, personal burden. And so the cycle turns. With the evil sealed and the land sighing in relief, the hero's purpose is fulfilled. The Master Sword is returned to its stone pedestal in the Lost Woods, its glow dimming to a soft, sleeping blue, embraced by silent flowers and watching Koroks. The hero, his legend now woven into the land, often retreats into the anonymity from which he emerged. He becomes a story told by traveling bards, a name carved on a forgotten stone. The spirit of the hero rests, its purpose served, while Hyrule enters a new, golden age, its people living their lives in peace, largely unaware of the quiet, ordinary-looking boy who walked among them to secure their dawn. Chapter 4. The Long, Gentle Slumber. In the wake of salvation, a deep and profound quiet blankets the land of Hyrule. The hero, his great task complete, does not seek a throne or accolades. More often than not, he simply fades back into the world. He might be seen riding his loyal horse, Epona, across the sun-kissed plains, now free of monsters, the wind a gentle caress rather than a carrier of ominous whispers. He becomes a guardian in memory, a silent, watchful presence, ensuring the peace he fought for. His spirit as much a part of the landscape as the whispering grasses and the ancient, steadfast trees. The Master Sword, its divine purpose served for this age, must also be granted its rest. Link journeys back to the sacred grove, where the air is always thick with the scent of damp earth and blooming silent princesses. As he gently slides the blade back into its stone scabbard, a soft, resonant hum echoes for a moment before fading into silence. The great Deku tree, a timeless sentinel, rumbles a low, approving sigh, and the forest itself seems to settle into a deeper, more contented slumber. The sword sleeps, its power conserved, its steel patiently dreaming of the next worthy hand that will draw it forth into the light. Across the kingdom, the slow, beautiful work of healing begins. Under Princess Zelda's wise and compassionate guidance, castles are rebuilt not as fortresses, but as centers of culture and learning. Villages repopulate, their chimneys smoking with the scent of baking bread and hearth fires. Fields that were once choked with malice are now tilled and planted, yielding golden wheat and bright, colorful vegetables. The people once living in the shadow of fear now speak of the green-clad hero as a figure of myth, a comforting tale for a winter's night. His legacy is not in statues that gather pigeon droppings, but in the very safety of the morning and the bounty of the harvest. Yet the spirit of the hero is never truly gone. It is a seed buried deep in the soul of Hyrule's people, a latent potential for courage that sleeps in the heart of every child who dreams of adventure, in every farmer who defends their home, in every artist who dares to create. It is the promise that should the shadow ever gather again, a light will answer. The legend of Link is not the story of one boy, but the story of a recurring, resilient hope that courage is a renewable resource, as endless as the stars, and as enduring as the ancient stones. For Princess Zelda, the memory of her hero is a cherished, poignant treasure. In her quiet study, surrounded by the soft light of candles and the scent of old parchment, she may pause her work, her gaze drifting to the peaceful horizon. She carries the weight of their shared destiny, the memory of his sacrifices, and the sound of his silent, determined footsteps. She is the keeper of the flame, the one who ensures the legend is passed down, not as a call to war, but as a lullaby of resilience, a quiet prayer that the next hero, should he be needed, will be as steadfast and true. And so, the years turn into decades, and the decades into centuries of tranquil slumber. The master sword rests in its grove, its steel cool and serene, its hilt occasionally used as a perch for a resting butterfly. The Triforce mark on the hero's hand fades from a brilliant gold to a faint memory, and then to nothing but a story. The land enjoys a golden age, long and prosperous, filled with the simple, beautiful music of everyday life. But in the deepest, most forgotten fissures of the world, the sealed evil does not die. It waits, patient as stone, its malice a slow, cold seep, dreaming of the day it can break its chains and force the spirit of courage to awaken once more. Chapter 5. The Eternal Breathing Cycle. The piece of Hyrule is as deep and timeless as the bedrock beneath its soil, but it is a living piece, one that breathes and changes with the seasons, and is therefore never absolute. Like the slow, inevitable turning of the year, the shadow eventually begins to stir from its slumber. A forgotten seal, etched in ancient stone, develops a hairline crack. A residual hatred, left behind like a stain, slowly coalesces into a new form. The signs begin subtly. A strange, gray fungus on the crops in a single field. A beloved spring running slightly cloudy. Or a shared, unsettling dream that troubles the sleep of the children. The world itself begins to murmur a warning. A soft, anxious call that ripples through the very air, seeking the one who can answer. And somewhere, in a quiet village or a lonely outpost, a child is born. There is no fanfare, no celestial sign marking his arrival. He is simply another soul, growing under the wide sky, his hands more accustomed to holding a fishing rod or a wood-carving knife than a sword. Yet, within his chest beats a heart of the same timeless courage. He is the new vessel, the next leaf on the ancient tree of the hero's spirit. When the darkness finally reveals itself in a terrifying, tangible form, it is this child who does not hide, but who steps forward, his eyes not filled with the rage of a warrior, but with the determined calm of a protector. The spark is lit once more. This new hero's journey will be uniquely his own, yet it will hum with the familiar melody of all the journeys that came before. He will find a companion unlike any other, perhaps a small, mechanical guardian born of ancient technology, or a kindly spirit of the earth itself. He will explore a Hyrule that is both comfortingly familiar and wondrously new, a land where the ruins of a great civilization pierce the clouds, or where the very geography has been reshaped by a great cataclysm. He will prove his worth not in familiar temples, but in breathtaking, floating ruins, and in the deep, bioluminescent chasms that glow with a soft, blue light. He will write his own verse in the endless song of Hyrule, and in the fulcrum of his quest, he will find his way to the heart of the forest, to the silent clearing where the master sword sleeps. The blade will sense the familiar, ancient courage approaching. It may resist at first, a low thrum of power testing his resolve, but as he reaches out with a heart that is pure and selfless, the sword will allow itself to be drawn. The ancient steel will flare, not with a blinding flash, but with a warm, bright, and welcoming light, bathing the grove in its glow and silencing the whispers of the dark. In that moment, the new hero is fully realized, another link in the unbreakable chain, connected to every soul who ever bore the title hero. The final battle is joined, a conflict as old as the world, yet forever new. It is a symphony of light and shadow, a dance of destiny played out on a grand stage. The new hero, supported by the wisdom of a new Zelda, and empowered by the friendships he has cultivated across the land, stands before the latest incarnation of hatred. He fights not for glory or for history, but for the simple, profound right of the world to exist in peace and beauty. With a final, resolute strike from the Master Sword, a blow fueled by all the hope and courage he embodies, the darkness is repelled, the evil is sealed away, and the looming cloud is swept from the sky, revealing the clear, infinite blue of a new beginning. The cycle is complete once again. The hero returns the Master Sword to its rest, where it will sleep and dream until the world has need of it once more. The land begins its slow, gentle process of healing, guided by the princess and watched over by the memory of the hero's quiet deed. The boy, his great task done, becomes a steward of the peace he helped to win. And as the people of Hyrule live, love, and grow under the warm, gentle sun, the spirit of the hero rests, slumbering deep within the heart of the land itself, waiting patiently, silently, forever, for the day it will be needed again. The Legend of Zelda is eternal, and the courage of Link is forever. And so, the spirit of the hero rests once more, watching over the peaceful kingdom of Hyrule from the quiet corners of the world. The story has been told. The legend is complete for now. Let the images of rolling green fields, silent forests, and starlit castles gently fade from your mind. Let the calm of this peaceful kingdom settle over you. Carry the quiet courage of the hero with you into your dreams. Thank you for listening to Gaming Lore for Sleep. May your night be peaceful and your dreams be adventurous. Good night.